Guilty, 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 and 2 life sentences for Alex Murdaugh for killing his wife and son. Ronnie Richter of the Bland Richter law firm has guided us through 6 weeks of this trial, the verdict, and now we examine the sentencing. And Ronnie, before announcing sentence today, Judge Clifton Newman spoke to Alex Murdaugh. He talked about this man who has fallen from grace. Alex Murdaugh today wearing a khaki jumpsuit. We listen into that.
And I know you have to see Paul and Maggie during the night times when you're attempting to go to sleep. I'm sure they come and visit you. I'm sure.
All day and every night.
Yeah, I'm sure. And they will continue to do so. And reflect on the last time they looked you in the eyes.
The last time they looked you in the eyes, chilling words from Judge Clifton Newman. Ronnie, You've heard a lot of statements at the point of sentencing. You said you've never heard anything like what you heard from Judge Clifton Newman today in that courtroom.
No, I've been a lawyer for 30 years. I've tried a lot of cases. I've appeared before a lot of judges. I have never heard anything quite like that.
Why do you think Judge Newman took so much time in speaking with Alex Murdaugh today?
I think it was deeply personal. He came across to me as the reluctant parent who has to mete out a harsh punishment, but a punishment that is well deserved. And he took the time to express those feelings. It wasn't just that you committed this crime, but it's that I personally, the state of South Carolina, the bar, your colleagues were disappointed in you. And he communicated that in a way that I've never heard a judge communicate it before.
And to your point about it being so personal, he even mentioned the fact that pictures, the family's legacy that hung in that courtroom had to be removed so as to not influence the jury, but
Right.
also just as a way to bring home how he was such a part of this community and is no longer.
Yeah, and I think it's the depth of the fall that adds to the disappointment, right? He had such a high station. So much was granted to him in life. So much power, position, privilege, and to have wasted it so badly. I think that's what Judge Newman was expressing. And to do that without notes, without a script, just from the heart. I've been yelled at by judges. Frankly, I would rather be yelled at than to be talked to that poignantly and that personally.
We know that Alex Murdaugh responded in saying, I respect this court, but I am innocent. I would never under any circumstances hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never under any circumstances hurt my son, Pawpaw. That was his response. We didn't hear very much more from Alex Murdaugh. We also, of course, want to talk to you about the response from the defense. No surprise that there will be an appeal. But what does that mean exactly? We heard them talk about the Boyce, I believe it is, that what it's called?
Yeah, Boyd.
The Boyd. What does that mean exactly for those of us who don't understand law going forward?
Yeah, so as the trial took place, we heard attorneys object and we heard attorneys try to suppress evidence, and we heard Judge Newman make a number of rulings, okay? So you're creating a record when you do that. For appellate purposes, there's 2 kinds of errors that Judge Newman could have made: harmless error or reversible error. Harmless error is, okay, he might have technically been incorrect, but it really didn't affect the outcome. Reversible error is that he was so wrong in his application of the law that it affected the right to a fair trial. I don't see any reversible errors here. The closest they come is the argument about should they have let the financial crimes into evidence or not. But on that issue, Judge Newman made it crystal clear that you, the defense, opened the door to that, and that's why that evidence came in.
99 financial crimes. We will see Judge Newman overseeing the trial of this as well. These are state crimes. So though there are federal charges, there are state crimes as well.
Yes.
Will we just see Alex Murdaugh in court week after week after week? How will this be done? Will they be bundled?
Well, the Supreme Court has handpicked Judge Newman to be our state judge to handle all matters Murdaugh. Okay, so he will see this to conclusion. The financial state crimes have been streamlined by Alex's testimony, in which he's already confessed to most of them. But there are other victims out there who have the right to have these charges heard, and so he's made it clear. You set them up, we'll knock them down, but yes, they will all be processed.
All right. Ronnie Richter, thank you so much for your insight. We've enjoyed you being on the desk with us every night. We really appreciate it. And of course, Judge Newman talked about a lot today, and some of that will be discussed during our continuous coverage with our sister station, WSAB. Thank you for staying with us. Alex Murdaugh, Endgame, is up next.